Welcome to Dream by Design with Melissa Banks. I'm your host, Melissa Banks, and today is Women Who Shine. This is where we celebrate women who are walking in their purpose, breaking barriers, and lighting the way for others. Each woman featured in this series has a story that reminds us of the power of faith, resilience, and determination. Today, we're shining the spotlight on Allania Maria. She is an actress. She's a singer songwriter. She's a best-selling author. She's an international motivational speaker. And I may have forgotten something, but what I do know is that she is a woman whose journey is not only inspiring, but also a beautiful reminder that when women shine, we give others permission to shine also. Welcome to the show, Elena. Thank you for being here and for sharing your light with us.
Thank you
much for the opportunity to be here. I'm so honored.
Wonderful. I'm excited to talk with you as well. So, Elena, we want to begin at the beginning, right? Are you hearing me okay?
Yes, we having a slight delay, but overall, I can hear you at least.
Oh, okay, because you're a little low. So, if yeah, speak. Yeah, give you a moment. Okay, great. Okay, so on this show, we like
that a
to
little
start
bit better.
much better. Thank you so much. We'd like to start at the beginning of the journey, right? So share with us, if you can, what sparked this amazing journey that you're on, and whether it was a triumph that happened, or maybe it was a struggle, or just a turning point that started all of this juiciness going. So share with us the start of your journey.
Yes, ma'am. So the arts have been a part of my life from early on. When I was a little girl, I grew up in the church, singing on the praise team, directing the choir, in the plays, all of that stuff. So it was cultivated as a young girl. But as I got older, I kind of, just got into the workforce, had children, slowed down, and just became, regular everyday movement. But a few years back, I lost someone who meant the world to me. His name was Daryl. He was my uncle. My grandmother had 8 children, 2 girls, 6 boys, and I always called him my favorite uncle. I called him my jam, is what I called him. My other uncle's like, oh Lord, there's her jam, but that's what I called him. That was my favorite, and he suddenly passed away, just out of nowhere. We got a call, no warning, no nothing, and he had all of these goals and dreams and plans, and they were unrealized. They went to the grave with him. And from that, I coined a phrase that I refuse to give the grave any of my potential. That thing, when he left here, it broke me in places that I'd never heard before. And I said, you know what? Every gift that I have, everything that I've sat on my whole life, I'm going to release it. So I was on the couch one day grieving, and a story came to mind. So I wrote my first urban fiction novel called Mariah. Then I wrote Mariah 2. Then I wrote another novel called Fat Baby. And then I started motivational speaking from that, speaking from a place you can start from now, beginning from now being I started in my 40s, right? When I started all of this journey or I think I was right at 40. And I just wanted to encourage other people that you can start from right where you are. You don't have to be a 20-year-old young lady. You can start from wherever you are to begin your journey of becoming. And through that, I was like, I've always sang. Why am I not singing? I've always acted. Why am I not acting? So I said, you know what? Let me go and audition for a part. And I got it. And I was like, oh my God, okay, I belong here. It's not too late. So it helped me to realize what I said when I said I will not give the grave any of my potential. I mean that from the top of my head to the sole of my feet. So every part of me, I've now ventured into screenwriting just from writing that one book. Now I'm a screenwriter. My first movie that I penned will be filming next month, a full feature film. So, that one breaking point in my life of losing somebody and knowing all of his plans, I say, I can't live that way. When I leave here, I'm going to be exhausted because God gave it to me to give it back. So when I die, I'm going to be able to lay down, close my eyes, and rest.
Woo! Wow, what an opening to the show was that. Listen, I refuse to give the grave any of my potential. That is such a powerful, powerful statement. Thank you for sharing that. But what that did for you is, of course, the loss hurt. You went through those grief of the loss, but what it did was open up your heart, your eyes,
Yeah.
and look at all the things that started. I hope nobody misses that, because what looks like a tragedy can be that thing that pushes you into your journey. And that one step,
Yeah.
once you take that one step, oh my goodness, how the doors that will open. Thank you.
Oh,
What a
yes.
powerful opening that was. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about women who shine. I love during the series, and I've done this series one other time, I believe, but I love during the series because I get to spotlight some amazing women, and I get excited when I talk about the Women Who Shine series. But I also like to hear from the women we are spotlighting, what it means to them to be able to stand in their own light and let others see their light.
Yes, ma'am. Well, it first of all, it's a privilege and an honor. There are a lot of things you can be called or considered as. There's some pretty crazy things you could be called, but to be considered a woman who shines, that makes my heart so glad. Honestly, it's literally health to my navel and marrow to my bones. The reason why I say that is because in life, we hear so many negative things, word scars. People said stuff, you're ugly, you're fat, you're skinny, you're this, you're that, you're no good. People say all kind of mean things. In traffic, they can say whatever to you. But for someone to say, hey, not only do I see you, but I see you shining, that literally fortifies me and makes me want to continue to being the great woman that God created me to be. Not only that, I have two young ladies, my children, and for them to be able to see their mom in a healthy light, as a mother, not some just a woman who's raising them, but see a woman who they consider as great and can look up to, and to set a bar. And I'm hoping to God that they meet that bar and exceed it. So it just makes me so proud to even be considered amongst women who are shining, because as women, automatically, just being a woman by birth, we are made to shine, right? We have to carry the kids, nurture the kids, bathe the kids, raise the kids, and everything that comes with it. But to find the strength and the muscle to be able to write a book, to be able to knit that blanket and sell it, to be able to make those shirts, to show up on those movie sets. We are super women, and to be included in the cloud of beautiful women and to be recognized, that really makes my heart glad. So again, as I said in the beginning, thank you so much for having me and to even be considered for such a platform.
Well, thank you. Your light is shining right now, and it is booming, and I just love, 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 love it. So, Allania, I couldn't have a show talking about your journey without talking about some of the challenges that we face on this journey. I believe every journey has its challenges.
Oh, yeah.
So share with us a moment where you were tested, or maybe you doubted yourself, and what gave you the strength to rise above it and keep shining.
Okay, so I'll start with the loss of my sister just 2 years ago. So unfortunately, she died in domestic violence. And I was literally on a movie set, the biggest set I've had to date. And I was so excited, and I text my family, and she was the first one to text back. It was early in the morning, and within a few hours, she was gone. Within a few hours. And so I told you I'm doing all these things. I'm writing, I'm traveling, I'm motivational speaking. I'm really, coming into my own as Allania Maria. And I'm just, really thanking God for the opportunities. And the last time that I had to speak was actually on her birthday, which was July 24th. I had to travel to Chicago, and we took my sister, Yolanda, who passed away, my other sister, Shauna, and my mom. We covered all her expenses. And, just to hear me speak, but also that day, me and the siblings, we went and enjoyed Chicago. Well, when she passed away, I had nothing to motivate anyone about. That's what I felt like. That part of Allania Maria, I kind of put to the back burner because I was just so sad. That's my sister. I have a right to grieve. That's human, right? No one's a robot. But I couldn't find the motivation to motivate anyone else for a long time because, she has 5 children left behind. And I have a mother who birthed her, that's her first child. So I want to make sure my mother's okay, my siblings okay, my aunts, uncles, cousins, losing her in such a tragic way. And I lost a big part of myself, if we want to be honest. I just didn't understand why, but, You know, they say God never makes a mistake. I mean, in hindsight, you can say that, but in the beginning, it feels heavy. It feels like a mistake. It really does. You're like, hey, why? Why her? Why one of the most beautiful people ever created? But I remembered that last text the day that she died. She was so proud of me. And when I got so low where I wanted to just stop and grieve, I referred back to that text. She's proud of you. And when she left here, she didn't leave me to go stagnant. She left because unfortunately her time was up in the most tragic way ever. But that was the end of her journey. But that wasn't the end of mine. So I had to find the strength within Allania Maria to continue to be a better and higher version of Allania Maria. And I never thought in a million years that my start would be what happened to take me to the next level. Losing my uncle was the start of this. Losing my sister made me level up. And I say, now, Lord, I'll keep going, but don't take nobody else from me. No more taking in that vein. So, but that was one of the biggest challenges in this journey of being Allania Maria. I call myself a 360 author. You know, I write all around different genres. And my company, my LLC is Allania Maria 360 LLC, talking about all of me. So I was very intentional when I chose that name. But that was one of the hardest parts that I ever had to go through. And you still have to show up on set. And you still have to show up to speak. And finding a center to continue on. That was the roughest challenge ever.
Oh my gosh, thank you for that. You know, women has this way of pushing through some of the darkest moments and turning them into a light. So sorry for that loss. I've lost siblings, so I do understand the pain of that loss. But that was the next step, though. So I hope people don't miss this what you've shared with us today, because what you shared is a deep pain, a very dark moment, but you didn't stay in the moment. That is the key. We will all face challenges on this journey, and some of them will be very, very dark, but you don't stay in that place. You come out of that place. And sometimes in your case, it opened up additional doors and moved you to that next level. And that's amazing.
Yeah, but another thing I could talk about is imposter syndrome. When you almost self-sabotage, sometimes believing yourself, it's sometimes hard to accept that this is me. Like, you wrote these books, you are a best-selling author, you did pen this movie, you are about to film this movie, like the locations are set, the money is paid, the deposits are there, the actors are ready. This isn't something you're not watching TV, unsung of someone else's life. This is literally you in real time. And it's sometimes just accepting. It's easy to praise other people, but we're taught be humble, and humble is good. You should never. But sometimes saying congratulations to yourself is the hardest thing to do sometimes. So that's another thing that I've been adjusting with, accepting Allania Maria as what I've become. So. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Let me reset right here, Allania. If you're just joining us, this is Dream by Design with Melissa Banks and the Woman Who Shines series. Our guest today is Allania Maria. She is an actress, singer, songwriter, best-selling author, international motivational speaker. So, Allania, at this point in the show, we'd like to hear something from you. You just went into, it was a perfect segue into my next question. You talked about how women, we often downplay our wins, right? Those things are happening. We might mention them to the close people to us. We may even do a post on social media, but we keep it counterbalanced. Now, when other people win, we're shouting and clapping and cheering them on, right? So at this moment on the show, I would like for you to share with us a moment that it was an achievement, that you were so proud of yourself and excited, and when you think about it, you smile all over again. You can feel all those feels all over again, because we're going to applaud you and we're going to celebrate that moment with you.
Absolutely. So the most recent moment that I can think of, I was cast in a movie called Unveil. And this was a very a big moment for me. I had one of the hugest roles that I've ever had. And I'm like, again, that imposter syndrome. They was like, congratulations. I'm like, me? Y'all chose me? Oh, me? And I studied my lines and I was so ready. And I got on set and I'm on set with some pretty, people with a little weight behind their name. And I walked up and I knew my lines and I was ready. And I reminded myself, you belong. But yeah, you did. I mean, when I tell you, I fist pumped like I'm in, one of those college movies with the football team when the game, you fist pump, I fist pumped. Oh, I pumped the air. I was like, yes, you belong. You belong. You belong here. It's not too late. You're not too old to start this. Go, Elena. That was most recent, one of my most beautiful moments with me, for me, and along with me for accomplishment I had. Man, if you had been in the room, you were like, is she crazy? A little bit. Oh, I was going at it.
We were feeling it though, Elena. We were feeling it as you were talking and fist pumping, and we were clapping and cheering you on. Women all over the world that will see this, it's going to celebrate that moment with you. It was all about you in that moment. We could feel it and see it with you. Thank you so much for that. That was amazing. It was just absolutely amazing. So, okay, now we want to talk about on this journey. Sometimes, even for me, and I know for most people, there are moments on that journey that the dream just feels heavy. It feels big. It feels like it's weighing you down. The noise in the world is loud because, see, oftentimes on this journey, the noise in the world is opposite what we're praying for, what we're going for. That noise in the world in this ear is loud. What keeps you grounded, Elena, and focused and determined to keep shining?
I say I have to turn the volume down on life because the problems are too loud. And so I can just hear God sometimes. So my prayer life helps me to balance things out. It doesn't make things perfect, but it helps keep me centered, right? So the mountain can still be there, but I talk to a God who I know can move the mountain. So once I finish communing with him, it helps settle my spirit and helps me to re-strategize, not just say, forget it, I'm done, I'm not going to do it anymore. So my faith helps me stay grounded. Not only that, recently we started a production studios it's called KAG3 Studios, Keith, Elena, and Gordon, and surrounding myself with great people. That is another thing that helps keep me grounded, not people who are trying to compete or compare or tear me down or secretly. No, people who are really rooting for me and I'm rooting for them. And when you have, what the Bible says, 2 or 3 touching, he's in the midst. So you got like-minded people working together. That also helps me stay grounded. And then being around people who have done way more than I have. I don't want to be the smartest in the room. If I'm the smartest in the room, then I need to level up. I need to go into another door because I always want to be around people who are challenging me. Well, what is the olive, to get the oil, it has to be pressed, right? So if I'm at the top, there's no press. I need to be at a place where I'm constantly being pressed and tried and challenged to become better. So what helps me stay grounded, like I said, is connecting to good people, good solid soil, and just staying in my word. Everybody is not a believer. I am, so it works for me. So for each individual out there who may be listening, find a place for you, whether it be my room, my shower is where I cry and do everything I need to do. My shower is my war room, as they say. Mm-hmm. So my shower is the place. So find that place where you can just let it all out. Let it all out and then regroup. So those are just some of the ways that I stay grounded.
Oh, yeah. I love that. And I wanted to make sure you get it. First, one of the things she said, and if you follow me at all, you've heard me say this many times, it matters who you listen to. It matters who you're around. Those people that are close to you, it matters. Find you some people that inspire, uplift. Also, you said if you pour into yourself, if you lean into your faith, and that quiets that voice. It'll turn the volume down. I love that. And I don't want people to miss that. You're in control of that noise. So control it, keep it focused so that you can keep going. Thank you for sharing that with us. Well, Elena, there are women watching all over the world right now.
Mhm.
And there's a woman that hear you, and I know she's at the end of her seat because I am too, just listening to you. But she has that dream that has just been sitting in her belly, and she wants to start it. She talks to people about starting it, but she just hasn't been able to take that first step. She feels stuck and afraid. What would you say to her to remind her that she has everything she needs inside to step out and shine?
Absolutely. You beat me to it. The first thing I would say is just to reaffirm you have everything already inside of you to become. Those dreams, those thoughts, those feelings, when you're daydreaming, thinking about that thing that's not, you know, by chance, that's not a one-off. That's who you are meant to become. The key is now, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? Are you happy where you are now with what you're doing? Can you see yourself doing that thing? Can you see that thing being the thing that makes you the thing you want to be? Then I suggest start looking into it, studying it, use your Googles, use the internet, and start figuring out how. Just start finding out how. Take the frustration out of it. The internet is a vast place, so you don't even have to tell anybody your dreams. Go to the internet and start getting and researching, how do I do this thing? And start building your momentum, right? When you first learn to ride a bike, you just don't ride it. You got to start pedaling. You got to learn how to do it. So start investing in yourself and quietly learning, and be careful who you share that with. Keep it close to your heart. Keep it close to your heart, and then start building your muscle within, and start from there. And as the muscle grows comes the strength. With the strength comes the power. With the power, then you start seeing results.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. That's right. Just do it. Just
Mm-hmm.
do it. How bad do you want it? I
How bad
absolutely love that.
Yeah.
Elaine, I want you to talk to us. When people look at your life and your journey, what is it that you want them to feel or to be inspired by to do as an example of what you have done?
Yeah. What I want them to feel, I want them to feel you're literally leading me. I want them to feel inspired. Um, I want them to feel encouraged, like I said, I started all this at 40, you know. So I want them to realize, again, I don't have to be, as we call it, a spring chicken. I can start it right here, right now. So when I look at this woman, I see a woman who did. And because she did, I can.
Mhm.
And that's what I would like people to see. Because she did, then I know that I can.
I love that. Elena, you have been such an inspiration. I am so grateful that you shared your journey with us today, and we were inspired. And every woman, everybody who listens to this, I believe will feel your excitement and your pain at sometimes. But thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing with us. Let our audience know how to stay connected to you so they can support all the stuff you're doing.
Absolutely. Well, my name is Allania Maria across all social media platforms. Little different spelling. My mom got creative, so it's Allaina Maria across all platform, and also my new studios with my partners KAG. It's KAG3 Studios, also across social media, and you can also, our website is forthcoming. My website is AllanaMaria.com. But you can see all the movies we have coming up. I'm so excited. A Christmas movie we're doing next month called At Home for Christmas with Mama. I am playing the role of Mama, and then we have a horror movie come right behind that in June. So yeah.
Well, thank you so much again for being here. Thank you for opening your heart and sharing your incredible journey with us today. Your
Yes,
story
ma'am.
is a reminder that no matter where we start, we all have the ability to rise, to shine, and to dream. So, to every woman watching, I hope you feel encouraged and inspired to keep pushing toward your purpose. I'm your host, Melissa Banks. Remember, your light is needed, your voice matters, and your shine is powerful. So until next time, keep shining.